Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Shurvunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaham. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadham Dadati Svapadantikam. Namom Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in today. So, chapters 10 of the seventh canto is entitled Prahlad, the best among exalted devotees. In the previous chapter, chapter 9, entitled Prahlad Maharaj offers prayers and pacifies Lord Narasimhadeva with his prayers. We discussed that. So after Lord Narasimhadeva had killed Hiranyakashipu, all the demigods, he went, he went and sat on the throne of Hiranyakashipu. Then all the demigods offered prayers, several demigods. However, Lord was not pacified. Then Lord Brahma requested Mother Lakshmi to go forward and pacify Lord Narasimhadev. However, Mother Lakshmi did not go forward. And then Lord Brahma requested Prahlad to go near Narasimhadeva and pacify him. And so, on the order of Brahma, Prahlad went forward, and offered obeisances to Lord Narasimhadev, and immediately Lord Narasimhadev got pacified, and he placed his hand on top of Prahlad Maharaj's head, and thereby, with the being touched by the Lord, Prahlad received a transcendental knowledge, and he offered wonderful prayers. So there were around close to 50 prayers in this chapter, in chapter 9. So, so after offering prayers, Lord Narasimhadev was very much pacified, pleased, and then he gave up his anger, and being very kind to Prahlad, he spoke to him as follows. So he basically requested Prahlad to take a benediction from Narasimhadev. He asked Prahlad, ask for a boon from me. However, Prahlad did not want to ask for any benediction, material benediction. So because he thought, like, I'm his master, I'm his servant, he's my master, I don't want to uh, take any benediction which will further increase my bondage in this material world. So that's how we felt. huh? So he was actually nonetheless, he was allured by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because of his unalloyed devotion, he did not want to take any material benefit for sense gratification. So that's how the previous chapter ends. And today's chapter. So there are 70 verses. So we will be reading the selected verses, and however, but I will be giving you the summary of the entire chapter, hmm, so that you will get the essence overview of the entire chapter. So, so if you want to create. So, anybody remembers the entire story of Narshing Dev? Is was a conversation between two personalities. Anybody remembers who these two personalities were? Uh, yes, Shama Shriji Mataji.
In Narad Muni and Yudhishthir.
Jai, you are excellent. You pacified me. You made me happy. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Okay. So as Mataji, as Mataji said, this is a conversation between Narada Muni and Yudhishthir Maharaj. So Narada Muni continued. Although Prahlad was only boy, when he heard the benedictions offered by Narshing Dev, he considered them to be impediment, an obstacle on the path of devotion. You know, that's why he smiled and spoke as follows. Mm. Um, I am actually born in a demonic family. Demons are naturally attracted to material sense enjoyment. My lord, I am very much afraid of this material condition. Uh, and therefore, because I'm very much afraid of this material condition and material world, I want to be liberated from this materialistic life. Hmm? Um, so I don't want these benedictions. Hmm? Uh, you have sent me to this material world to exhibit the symptom of a pure devotee. Uh, in this world, sometimes Lord selects his own pure devotees and sends them here so that they teach us lesson. They we are here because of our karma. Um, but however, the pure devotees are here. It is not because of their karma, but it is the will of the Lord. Sometimes Lord wants the pure devotee to go to the material world and you know purify the fallen souls like us, just like Prabhupada also. He was in the same situation. He was you know he was actually sent by the Lord to this world. Hmm? um, yeah, so you are so kind to your devotee that you could not induce him induce him to do something unbeneficial for him. So Prahlad Maharaj is praising Narsingadev. Hmm? You know, your pure devotees do not want anything which is materially motivated. Um, so some people ask for these. They are after material benefit, or in exchange to their devotional service. They are like a merchant who wants profit in exchange for their service. It is like a business. Hmm. Um, and he says, a servant who desires material profit from his master is certainly not qualified as a servant or a pure devotee. Similarly, a master who bestows benediction upon his servant because of a desire to maintain a prestigious position as a master is also not pure master. Uh, so he says this, this is a business transaction for those, they render some devotion and they want some material profit out of that. But my Lord, you are asking me to ask for a benediction. I'm your unmotivated servant. I'm your eternal servant. There is no need of being anything other than master and servant. This is enough. This is more than enough for me. I am acting as your servant. You have accepted me as your servant. That is more than enough. So you are naturally my master, and I am naturally your servant. We have no other relationship. So this is how the pure devotees are. Huh? Um, and this is a very clever benediction he asks. Oh my Lord, if you want to give me a benediction, bestow me, bestow a desirable benediction upon me. Then I pray from your Lordship that within core of my heart there be no material desires. Oh my Lord, if you want to give a benediction, please may I request you to see that there will not be any material desires in my heart. What a wonderful prayer. We can offer this next
What's the
time.
number?
Sorry?
What is the number?
That one 7, text 7.
Sir, you're
Yeah.
not sharing the screen, by the way.
I'm not sharing it as I'm explaining it. I'm doing this
Oh, I see.
differently.
Okay.
So, yeah. Yeah. Okay, I can also share, not a problem. So this is the one, text 7. Yeah. Oh my Lord, when a human being is able to give up all material desires in his mind, he becomes eligible to possess wealth and opulence like yours. This is a beautiful verse. Yes. If at all, if you want to possess wealth and opulence like that of Lord, what we have to do is we have to give up material desires. So we think by giving, we think it is too much to give up. But actually, by giving up this lesser thing, we will possess, we will acquire a greater thing, which is permanent and eternal and everlasting. And these desires, material desires, will not easily go away. The only thing that we have to do is keep on engaging in the devotional services of the Lord. And that is how the material desires can be destroyed, or you transform your desires into spiritual desires. Desire cannot be killed, but the material desire can be spiritualized. Say, for example, if you want to eat something nice, then you offer it to the Lord and then accept it like that. So every sense, try and see how can that be used in the service of the Lord. That's how we take pleasure. Um, So text 10, this is a small short prayer Prahlad Maharaj offers. If you want to memorize, you can memorize. And whenever you want to offer this prayer, it is nice, wonderful verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Tubhyam Purushaya Mahatmane Harayed Bhuta Simvaya Brahmane Paramatmane. O my Lord, full of six opulences, O Supreme Person, O Supreme Soul, killer of all miseries, O Supreme Person in the form of wonderful lion and man, let me offer my respectful obeisances on you. So this is a small prayer that Prahlad Maharaj offers. And after that, so in that section, the summary was that Prahlad was not interested in asking any material benediction from the Lord. And he says that asking a material benediction is like a business transaction. But however, I am your servant, you are my master. This is the relationship that we have. We don't want any other relationship. But however, if you want to give any benediction, Lord, please remove that all the material desires from the core of my heart, that I should not have any material desire. I mean, whatever we ask, Lord will give us. Material desire, what is the difference between material desire and a spiritual desire? With a material desire, we try to enjoy separately from the Lord. Spiritual desire is we will enjoy in the association of the devotees, in connection with the Supreme. That is the difference. And so then he says that, by giving up these material desires, one can actually acquire wealth and opulence similar to you. So, Narshing Dev, he spoke. Yeah, so devotees like you never desire for any material opulence. Nonetheless, he says, I order you to enjoy the opulence of demons of this material world and act their king until the end of the duration of time occupied by Manu, one Manu. So one Manvantara is 71 Divya Yugas. One Divya Yuga is 4.32 million years. So 4.32 million times 71. So that is the duration that Lord asked him to be act as a king. Actually, Lord asked him to act as a king. So I will give you all the opulences you enjoy. Prabhupada writes a wonderful point. Prahlad Maharaj did not ask for any opulence, any enjoyment, but Lord gave. So Prabhupada writes that if you do devotion, all these things will automatically come. Therefore, everyone is advised to take devotional service under all circumstances. If one desires material, let me share. Am I sharing this? Let me share this. Yeah, this is text 11. So therefore, everyone is advised to take devotional service under all circumstances. If one desires material opulence, he can also become a pure devotee, and his desires will be fulfilled. It is stated that akamaha sarva kamova moksha kama udharadhihi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Whether one desires everything or nothing, whatever he desires to merge into the existence of the Lord, he is intelligent only if he worships the worships Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by rendering devotional service. So here Prabhupada writes that although Prahlad Maharaj did not ask for any material benediction, Lord gave him all the opulences and material benedictions. Of course, for Prahlad Maharaj, he will not be deviated. And then says, okay, don't worry that you're going to be here in this material. This is a very instructive point. Please remember, pay attention to this. So how long you'll be here for? The duration of time occupied by Manu, that is 4.32 times 71 million years. And though you are here in this material world, continuously hear the instructions and message given by me, and always be absorbed in thought of me. Therefore, give up repetitive activities and worship me. So this is a wonderful instruction for all of us. So Narsimha Dev instructing Prahlad Maharaj, don't worry that you are not going, you are not going back to the spiritual world now. Don't worry about that. Rule the subjects, occupy the throne, but while being in this material world, continuously hear about me. That means that while as long as we are here in this material world, we have to continue our duty. At the same time, we have to lend our ear for Krishna Katha. We have to hear Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam on a regular basis. This is an important instruction. So Prahlad, Narsimha Dev continues. And while being, while ruling the subjects, you will exhaust all your pious activities. After that, when you give up your body, you will come back to me, and your glorious activities will be sung in the upper planetary system. So this is the point Narsimha Dev mentions, that he will go back and his glories will be sung all over. Pure devotees' glorious activities will be sung all over. Narsimha Dev then tells, one who always remembers your activities and my activities also, who chants the prayers you have offered, becomes free in due course of time from the reaction of material activities. So if we hear the activities of pure devotee, they also purify us. We can hear the activities of the Lord and his pure devotees just by remembering Prahlad Maharaj's activities and activities of Narsimha Dev, and chant some of the prayers that Prahlad chanted. We will be freed from these reactions of material activities. And then Narsimha Dev instructs that yeah, 1 second. Yeah. Prahlad Maharaj says actually that there is one more request. Prahlad Maharaj requests one thing, that my father, he maintained enmity towards you, and he blasphemed you. Please excuse him. Please forgive him. That is one request Prahlad Maharaj makes to Lord Narsimha Dev. Narsimha Dev says, your father was already purified. you know, being touched by me. He was already purified. And so don't worry about it. Um, and he requests Prahlad Maharaj to perform the final rites to his father's dead body. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that this is very, even though he was a pure devotee, but this is the Vedic system. By performing the final rites, um, the soul will be elevated to the higher planets. So he does not want to, violate the Vedic principles. That's why Narsingh Dev advised Prahlad Maharaj to perform the final rites, which is called Shraddha. Hmm. Um, and then says, you don't worry, that your father was purified by my touch. Not only your father, then he says that 21 forefathers in your family have been purified because of you being the devotee. So Prahlad Narsingh says that um, hmm, yeah. So Narsingh says that you are asking me, you are requesting me that your father be purified, excused, and forgiven. But he was he was already purified because of being touched by me. Not only your father, but actually 21 generations of forefathers have been purified because you were born in that family. So it is said that devotees says differently, but anyway, 10 generations above, 10 generations below, and the current generation will all be, purified if one becomes a devotee. So this is if you want to give a nice gift to your ancestors, forefathers, and other family members, relatives, I think the best thing is that we become a devotee. This is the best gift, uh, best Christmas and New Year gift that we can offer to the family members by becoming a devotee. So remember that 21 generations for the forefathers. Hmm. So then the Lord says, those who follow your example will naturally become my pure devotees. You are the best example of my devotee, and others should follow in your footsteps. I'm just yeah. So after that, the Lord says, yes, perform ritualistic ceremony, Shraddha, the final rites, and sit upon the throne, and not be disturbed by the materialistic activities, and rule the kingdom. So, um, as instructed by Lord Singhadev, Prahlad Maharaj had performed the ritualistic ceremony. Um, and then all the demigods enthroned Prahlad Maharaj. Um, yes, so they made their king. They performed the ceremony, um, and made Prahlad Maharaj as the king. And seeing this, Lord Brahma was very happy, very, very happy. And then Lord Brahma offered some prayers, and So, and Narsingadev instructed Brahma also. My dear Brahma, um, you know, I warn you not to give such benedictions to demons again. What happens? He gives an example of feeding milk to snake. What happens if you feed milk to the snake? Its poison will increase. So similarly, don't give, actually, if you increase these benedictions to demons, they will misuse these benedictions. So don't do that again. Um, Saying this, um, and Lord disappeared from that place. Narshing Dev Bhagavan ki jai. So Prahlad Maharaj then worshipped all, all the demigods present there. Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, and other demigods. Um, hmm, uh, they he worshipped all the demigods, and of course Shukracharya came, their family spiritual master, and hmm, so they made Prahlad Maharaj as king of demons. So all the demigods, they offered wonderful benedictions to Prahlad Maharaj, and they went to their respective abodes. Then Narada Muni gives the little bit of background. He sums up the entire story of Narsingadev. If we go back to our beginning of our discussion was that when in the Rajasuya Yajna, where Yudhishthir Maharaj was performing this special sacrifice. Um, um, so this Shishupal, he blasphemed Krishna, and so Krishna tolerated him up until 100 offenses, and until he commits 100 offenses. Uh, and after that, he decided to uh, kill him, and he released his Sudarshan disc, thereby chopping the head of Shishupal. In the assembly, while everyone is watching, the soul of Shishupal merged in the body of Krishna. And that time, Yudhishthir Maharaj asked this question: how come, this Shishupal, um, attained liberation by merging into Krishna's body? He should have been sent to hell. So that time he narrated this entire story of Narsingadev. So then he says the two associates of Lord Vishnu, Hiranyakashipu, in the Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, the sons of Diti were killed by the Supreme Lord. Um, and later, they became Ravana and Kumbhakarna, and they were killed by Lord Ramchandra. Uh, and then they took birth in human society um, as Shishupal and Dantavakra. And they continue to maintain enmity towards the Lord. Hmm? And so they were killed by Lord Krishna, and they merged into the body of Lord Krishna in your presence. Um, and not only this Shishupal and Vakra, many other demons also attained salvation by being killed by the Lord. Mm. Some of them achieved Sarupya Mukti. Sarupya Mukti means having, the same form of the Lord. Um, uh, So this is how Narada Muni describes. Let me see what. So there is the Falashruti, the benefits of reading and hearing this wonderful narration is given. So let me ask someone. Can someone read text 46 and 47?
I will read, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Text 46. One who hears and chants this narration about the omnipotence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, is certainly liberated from material bondage without fear. Text 47. Prahlad Maharaj was the best among exalted devotees. Anyone who with great attention hears this narration concerning the activities of Prahlad Maharaj, the killing of Hiranyakashipu, and the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Nrsimhadev surely reaches the spiritual world where there is no anxiety.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So one day, so we will surely reach the spiritual world because we have heard this conversation. Um, mm, so this is the benediction that Narada Muni gives. And whatever Narada Muni gives, whatever Narada Muni says, Lord has to follow. Huh? You remember the story of Nalakuver and Manigriv? Um, you know, Narada Muni curses them to be trees in the courtyard of Nanda Baba and tells them that you Lord Krishna will you will come to you will come face to face with Lord Krishna, and you will be liberated by Lord Krishna, you will be delivered by Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna, so because he likes his devotees, and so to keep the words of Narada Muni are true, he actually liberated, uprooted these twin trees with that grinding motor, and sent them back to to send them back to the higher planets. But they also received devotion, love of Godhead, prema bhakti. So here also Narada Muni says, he gives this benediction. If whoever hears and chants this narration will certainly be liberated from the material bandage, and eventually, and surely, he says, surely reaches the spiritual world. So Narada Muni then says, my dear Yudhishthir, you are also pure devotee. Uh, Krishna is always there in your home. He always visits your place. You are also a pure devotee. Um, and then he says this, impersonal Brahman is an aspect of Krishna. Mm. Um, and is the supreme personality of Godhead. He appears like a human being. Yes, but he is the supreme Lord, and he is worshipable. Uh, Yet he is the supreme Lord. He acts as a servant, and you know he just serves you. Sometimes he appears as your friend, well-wisher, and as a servant. He acted as a charioteer of Arjun. He acted as your friend like that. But don't think that he's human. He's the supreme personality of Godhead. Hmm? Um, yeah. So then he talks about. So that's how the narration ends there. Then he says that Lord Krishna is not a human being, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma are unable to fully describe his glories. Saying this, then he says that um, this same Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, once saved the reputation of Lord Shiva. This is the connection. It's a different story, but the connection is that Lord Krishna, being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, saved Lord Shiva's reputation. That is the connection. Okay, and so long ago, this is another story. Yeah, so long ago there was a demon called Mayadanava. So the architect of demigods is known as what is his name? How do I forget?
Vishwakarma, isn't it?
Yes, Vishwakarma. And the architect of demons is called Mayadhanav. Is known as Mayadhanav. Is a very mystical personality and creates um, uh, so advanced dwellings and other things. Even if you remember in Mahabharata, the uh, Maya Sabha means there is an assembly hall was constructed by Mayadhanav, and that was given to Yudhishthir Maharaj. Uh, in that assembly, when Duryodhan went, he got completely bewildered. He was seeing a water puddle when there is no water puddle there, like that, and vice versa. So this Mayadana was a great engineer of demon, but the only problem is he he favors demons, and demons in turn they will only do all the destructive activities, just like he warned Lord Narsimhadev warned Brahmaji that giving benedictions to uh, demons is like that of feeding milk to the snake. So this Mayadhanava supports the demons. He was very expert in technical knowledge. This Mayadhanava reduced the reputation of Lord Shiva. And in that situation, Krishna, who appeared like a human, actually saved Lord Shiva's reputation. And then Yudhishthira Maharaj asked, please can you explain this? Why did Mayadhanava vanquish Lord Shiva's reputation, and how did Lord Krishna save Lord Shiva? So then he explained this wonderful story. So the demigods were always favored by Lord Krishna. Um, they kept on defeating the demons. So demons therefore took shelter of Mayadanav. So this Mayadanav, he uh, prepared three cities. They are invisible residences, and gave these three cities to the demons. And these dwellings, they resembled airplanes made up of gold, silver, and iron. Three cities. They are invisible. And there is uncommon paraphernalia in it. So because of this, the leaders, the commanders of demons remained invisible to the demigods. Taking advantage of this, um, you know, remembering their former enmity, began to vanquish the three worlds. So because they are not to be seen, how can you attack the demons? They are invisible, but they are able to attack. So they were destroying the worlds, three worlds, upper, middle, and lower planets. When they were trying to destroy the higher planetary system, the rulers of the planets, they approached Lord Shiva. So they requested Lord Shiva to save them from the wrath of these demons. So Lord Shiva was very powerful, reassured them, saying that do not be afraid. Then he shot arrows and he released, and these were like very powerful arrows. And he aimed at these three cities, three residences created by Mayadano, and that's where the demons were dwelling, residing. So therefore, with those arrows, he managed to um, kill the residents of these three dwellings. Many demons were, they got killed. But however, this Mayadanav, what he did, he took the dead bodies and dropped them into a nectarian well that he had created. So there is a well, and in that there is nectar. Prabhupada writes in the purport, this is called, in Ayurveda, this preparation, it is called Mruta Sanjeeva Etari. Mruta Sanjeeva Etari. He made a well filled with nectar and dipped all the demons into that nectarian well. The nectar was known as Mruta Sanjeeva Etari. So, for it could bring a dead body to life. And that's how the demon Mayadanava brought all the demons back to life. Lord Shiva killed them, but he brought them back to life. Seeing this, Lord Shiva was very much disappointed. So he was thinking what to do. So that time, Lord Vishnu, um, considered how to stop this nuisance created by Mayadanava. Then he thought a plan. Lord Brahma became calf, Lord Vishnu became cow. And then they entered into these residences and drank all the nectar in the well. So here it is mentioned that Mayadanav actually saw this calf and cow entering into the residences and approaching the well, but being illusioned by the Lord, he could not do anything. Okay, he could not forbid them. Uh, um, and he could not do anything basically. And Lord, Vishnu and Brahma, the form of cow and calf, they drank every drop of that nectar in the well. And Mayadano came to his senses. And he said this: what has been destined by the Supreme Lord for oneself, for others, or for both oneself and others cannot be undone anywhere or by anyone, whether one be a demigod, a demon, or human being, or anyone else. Basically, if Lord wants to do something that nobody can check, Rake Krishna Mareke, Mare Krishna Rakeke. If Krishna wants to kill you, no one can save you. If Krishna wants to save you, no one can kill you. So Maidano came to this conclusion. Okay, I was illusioned, but that illusion was created by the Lord. Let it be like that. Mm. So, because there is no nectar now, and it's easy for Lord Shiva to attack. Not only Lord Vishnu drank all the nectar from that well, but he also supplied the necessary equipments to fight these demons, such as charioteer, horses, elephants, a bow, a shield, and arrows. They were also supplied by Lord Vishnu to fight these demons. And that most powerful Lord Shiva then set fire to all the residences of these demons, thus destroyed them. Hmm? And seeing this situation, the demigods from the upper planetary system, they became very jubilant. They began showering flowers and beating the drums also. They began to dance and they took great pleasure because Lord Shiva had managed to destroy all these three residences, invisible residences. So here, Lord Shiva, by this, he gets a name. He got a name called Tripurari. Tri means three, Pura means cities, Ari means enemy. Hmm. So Ari means also destroyer. So destroyer of the three cities. That's how Lord Shiva gets a name called Tripurari, hmm, the annihilator of three dwellings. Um, so being worshipped by the demigods headed by Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, um, uh, Lord Shiva returned to his abode. And the final verse says that, so Narada Muni tells Yudhishthir Maharaj, Sri Krishna appeared as a human being, yet he performed so many uncommon activities. These activities are transcendental. If we hear and chant activities of common men, we don't get any benefit. But the activities of the Lord are transcendental. They purify us, and we will be able to go back simply by hearing the activities and glories of the Lord. That is the difference. So, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvataha tat tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. Krishna says to Arjun that, my birth, my disappearance, my appearance, my every activity, they are transcendent. Just by hearing them, one is able to go back to the spiritual world. Okay, so let me summarize this chapter entitled Prahlad, the best among exalted devotees. So, following from the prayers offered by Prahlad Maharaj, Lord Nrsimhadev wanted him to, take a benediction from him. However, Prahlad Maharaj was not very much interested to ask for any material benediction, and and he says that this asking, rendering some devotion to you in expectation of some material benediction is like a business transaction. I don't want that. I'm your servant, you are my master. This is the relationship that I want. If at all, if you want to give me a benediction, please, please, may I ask to, to not to have any material desire in the core of my heart. And then then he says later on, may I ask you to excuse my father who acted out of ignorance, who maintained enmity towards you. And Nrsimhadev tells that being touched by him, his father was already purified. And he tells that because you are a devotee, 21 generations of forefathers will be purified and they will go back to the spiritual world. So, my dear Prahlad, um, you become the king of the demons, enjoy all the opulences, you rule the subjects for one manvantara, that is 4.32 times 71 million years, while ruling the while being here in this material world. Please continue to hear my glories and at the same time rule the kingdom. Hmm? So, um, and then Lord Narsimdev warns Brahma, saying that you know you should not give benedictions to demons, um, and it is like feeding milk to a snake, poisonous snake, that will increase only the poison. And Narsimdev also said that Prahlad should perform the final rites of his father and then occupy the throne. So Prahlad Maharaj did the same, and spiritual master Shukracharya was there in the presence of all the demigods. Prahlad Maharaj was enthroned as king. Prahlad Maharaj pacified all the demigods. He offered prayers to all the demigods present there, and in turn they offer benedictions. Then Narada Muni concludes this story, and how this Shishupala and Dantavaktra, and they were first born as Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, later Ravana and Kumbhakarna. In the third birth, now as human beings, Shishupala and Dantavaktra, they were killed by Krishna, and they attained liberation, Sarupya Mukti, the having same form of the Lord. And then he tells Yudhishthir Maharaj, Narada Muni tells that this Krishna, you don't think he's a human being. He's the supreme personality of Godhead. Sometimes, out of because you are a pure devotee, he loves you, he acts as your servant, he acts as your friend, he acts as your peace messenger, etc. And this same Krishna is the source of that impersonal Brahman. And he once saved the reputation of Lord Shiva. And then he narrates the story of how Lord Shiva became Tripurari, that Mayadana was a great uh, engineer. He got so many techniques. So Mahadana, he created three invisible cities for demons, and the demons were taking advantage of these invisible dwellings, and there is quite a bit of equipment, special equipment was also there. They were able to destroy the various planetary systems, and when they were attacking the upper planetary system, the beings of upper planets, the demigods, approached Lord Shiva and requested his help to save them. And Lord Shiva, he managed, he agreed to help them, and with his arrows, he killed the demons. However, Mayadanava took the dead bodies of these demons and dropped them in the well contained nectar. And as soon as the dead body touched this nectar, special nectar, they brought back to life. So that's how all the demons were alive. And Lord Shiva got bewildered what to do. So that time, Lord Vishnu took the form of cow, and Lord Brahma took the form of calf, entered the cities, three cities, and approached that well, contained nectar, and drank every drop of it. However, Mayadana, you could not forbid being controlled by the Lord. He got illusioned. So, and after that, Lord Vishnu provided Lord Shiva all the necessary equipment, chariot, horses, special bow and arrow, etc., to Lord Shiva to fight these demons. And with that, Lord Shiva was able to destroy all these three cities. That's how he gets the name of Tripurari. And at the end, Narada Muni says that Lord Krishna appeared as a human being, yet he performed so many uncommon activities. Uh, Everyone can be purified by his activities simply by hearing about them from the right source. That's how Narada Muni says, and that's how the 10th chapter is now completed. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Wonderful class. Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hari Bol, Hari